Hello my fellow hunters, today we do switch X morph and I gonna explain you why the true Fatalis end is the absolute best switch X in the entire game and makes every elemental switch X build completely useless. Even if you have full Safi armor set or true critical element or Velkana gamma armor pieces or whatever. So first of all, I'm gonna show you two different builds, the actual meta switch X elemental build and DPS switch X build with the true Fatalis end. And after I've shown you the two builds, I'm gonna deeper into morph and compare the damage output of the zero sum discharge compared to different hit zone values. First of all, we go to our meta build from the switch X. There also exist meta builds with agitator, but with this build we have earplugs 1, also thunder attack level 6 or whatever. I choose to cure thunder because it has a good sharpness. Yes, attack boost level 7, thunder attack level 6, also power prolonger, weakness exploit, 100% affinity, full Safi equipment, augmented 1 times to health, 2 times to element, and also the Quiff Tarov mods are fully of element. So at the end we get a critical element of 1460 and an effective raw of 565 and an effective element of 262. Now we go on with the true Fatalis end. We have 4 pieces dragon barbs or dragon equipment, so we have 20 hits of purple sharpness, but because we have used the skill Transcendence, our sharpness lost is reduced by 70%, so we have 60 hertz of total purple sharpness, and if you have seen my runs, that sharpness is absolutely okay. We don't need handicraft or other skills. Now I show you a little bit the skills I have used. I've augmented the switch X 1 times health, 1 times affinity, 1 times element. You can also use maximum might 5, but there is a huge discrepancy in the community about maximum might 5, so I don't use it in this set. I personally like maximum might 5, but yes, there are very much differences. So I choose critical IA 7 because it triggers all the time. Attack boost 7, agitator 7 is completely maxed out. Also tool specialist, so if you have seen Fatalis speedruns, every speedrunner used tool specialist 5. If you have seen Bebo or whatever, or Haka Ole, all speedrunners use tool specialist 5. So I think that's absolutely recommended for speedruns. Yes, also power prolonger 3, peak performance, blight resistance 3 is absolutely needed, because if we haven't got blight resistance, peak performance can't be triggered if you are on flames. Also earplugs 1 to don't get interrupted doing a ZSD. So please don't look at the mental decorations, they are absolutely nonsense. Yes, that is the actually build, but all these two builds are only made for calculation. So I go to the third window and I gonna make a comparison between the Fatalis switch X and the actually best elemental switch X builds. Sorry, I forgot one thing. We have 974 effective raw, and on the Fatalis switch X we have a power file, and on the QRX Thunder a power elemental file. Also I have to say that the only way maybe elemental switch X is usable is with the Velkana gamma armor, because it has a good ice attack skills, but I think it either doesn't deal enough damage. So you can see the most common hit zone values are between 30 and 80. So for instance, if we are forming Fatalis, the hit zone value is 75, and if the head is tenderized, it's 82. So all that other things doesn't interest us, because if you form Fatalis, only the head hit zone value is interesting for us, or the chest. The chest is also 70 or 75 in the third phase. So you can see here the huge difference. First of all, by the way, I have to say all these numbers only based on completely zero-sum discharge, and the values from the Kiosk switch X only based on an elemental hit zone value of 20, because it is the most average hit zone value of a monster. There also exist hit zone values of elemental hit zone values of 35, or also with 50 on the lava suit. Yeah, if he has eaten molten lava, or the Baroth if he is covered in mud, you have 18 water hit zone value, because all that things doesn't matter, because no one are farming Baroth or lava suit actually. It's only interesting for Elder Dragons and other stuff. So you can see here the huge differences. For example, the most hit zone values are interesting for us as 70 or 80. So you can see one zero-sum discharge with the Fatalis SA does exactly 400 or 500 damage more, which is an absolutely increase. I'm gonna show you the morph. For example, I use the hit zone value of 80 when it's cinderized. So we take the calculator, 1939, differentiated by 1453. So you can see the Fatalis switch X is in comparison to the actual meta elemental sets 33% stronger than every other elemental switch X set. So elemental switch X is completely gone. Yes, and the damage is so low in comparison to the Fatalis switch X. I can give you the two links in the description, so you can do yourself a little bit more. You can go to my damage with the Fatalis set, for instance. You can choose a monster, like we are choosing Velkhana. Velkhana comes out later. Then, for example, we go for the head is standardized, and now we, for instance, using combination. Here the zero-sum discharge ticks. So on Velkhana we get with the set 86 ticks, and the release is 583. So if you can calculate for a complete CSD, you have to calculate 86 times 12 plus 583, and you have the damage number of a complete zero-sum discharge. So that was the morph from the new elemental DPS meta. So see you next time.